Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, I am once again playing the Tier 10 U.S. Destroyer gearing. If you saw the video yesterday, you saw a game where I think I played fairly well and somewhere over 1,800 base XP and a loss. It was a good game that didn't end well for our team. I ended up with, I think, 6 kills, and I was a little frustrated by some of the play that I saw from some teammates, but there's nothing unusual about that, and I'm sure that it's fairly common that there are people on my teams that are equally or more frustrated with things that I do. So, just part of the game. But yesterday was a particularly rough day in the game. The very end of the day, probably close to midnight, I said, you know what, before I try and get any sleep, I got to try one more game, because I think overall it was probably like 8 losses and 2 wins or something on the day to that point, something like that. And I had one game where I potatoed and got blapped fairly early, but for the most part I played pretty darn well, and it's over the course of a day, between work-related things, playing a whole bunch of games and having that kind of luck it leaves a sour taste in your mouth, I guess, to say it one way. So I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to try one more time, and I was really surprised. I clicked play. Usually that late, it takes a while if you can get a game at all, and I instantly dropped into a game, and I thought, oh no, if you've had it happen, this is true. Very often that means that there's a queue with CVs in it that's just been waiting a while. But, as you can see, no CV in this game. I've got a little bit of radar to contend with in the form of the Petropavlovsk, but, other than that, it's really kind of primarily a DD threat. I've got an enemy gearing, Kleber, and Holland. Now, the Holland's torpedoes are so fast that by the time you see them, it's usually too late to do much to avoid them. Kleber is just so much faster, the ship itself, that if it decides to chase you down, there's not a whole lot you can do. Gearing has decent guns, but Kleber with the reload booster is just an absolute monster. So what am I doing here? I'm just trying to spot torps. I got lucky that they didn't torp this way. I was kind of hoping that they would be dropping torps toward one of the battleships, and that's why I felt like there'd probably be a gap here. You can see where the Shikishima's at, you can see where the Montana's at, and that's why I came to where I'm at right now, was just looking at where the battleships were going and what the likely targets were for torpedoes. Now, somebody got in that cap really fast, and my guess is it was probably Kleber. But rather than, speed into the cap and get myself blapped, took my time, turned around, backed in. Was really hoping I might land a torpedo on Thunderer, but that didn't work out. But because he's sailing broadside, our Shikishima is just pummeling him. Now I'm looking at the Worcester, and I'm thinking he's moving away, so I should be good here for at least a little while, unless a DD pushes me. Now I can see where the indicator's at. I'm guessing the Worcester's probably not the closest thing. There's probably a DD there. So you can see that I'm angling my ship to create the narrowest possible profile. And there it is. And I'm pretty sure his torpedoes are going to be on the way here any second.
Smoke generator started.
I do take some damage, but not a whole lot I can do about that. There are his torpedoes. Looks like he was trying maybe to get the Montana, unless he just expected I was going to run forward and worry about staying in the cap. But I wasn't too worried about that. Our Venezia takes out the Thunderer. The poor Thunderer. he just continued sailing broadside to everybody. You can see my comment there about both our radar cruisers being on one side. Well, they've got the Kleber to contend with over there, and I'm guessing at this point in the game that probably the gearing is over the air. Yeah, you can see him now. So it makes sense. They obviously saw something I didn't. And I just kind of put myself back in the cap. Now, I'm guessing Worcester's going to try and come around this island radar and shred me. See, that's why I put torpedoes where I put torpedoes there. Hoping to catch him as he comes around the corner of that island. I've got 21 seconds until I secure the cap. So it's really a question of, can I hang on long enough to get the cap before that radar pops and I'm visible to everybody again. You can see where his shots were coming from. I do manage to land a couple torpedoes, which means that there's probably not a whole lot left to him. And as soon as somebody sees him, that'll probably be the end of him. Got torpedoes back up. Put him back out here in the hopes of maybe catching Montana. Since I don't have any radar to contend with yet, I'll go ahead and start using guns. And I'll fall back. So I'm pretty sure that radar is going to come anytime. Now, looking at the mini-map as I drop back here, you can see that the Montana is pushing forward. Maybe he's thinking he'll stick his nose in the cap. Our Montana, in my opinion, his positioning is questionable. We don't really have a whole lot for him to shoot at on the outside there. I know he's trying to avoid torpedoes, but yeah, if I had dropped those torps a little more toward the island, I would have caught him. But there just isn't that much out there. And for him to stay there that long, I really question that. It seems not to make a whole lot of sense to me. I was really hoping to see our Montana either, cross maybe to more or less where I'm at now and just stay angled. But he's content to just sit there. You can see he's gotten banged up. I mean, he's taken some damage for sure. And I'm not really sure if that was due to some torpedoes catching him because he was nose into an island or just what happened there. But our Shikishima, he's doing some work. He's landing some big shots. Our Holland chases down the enemy Holland. And he's still got plenty of hit points. So at this point in the game, we're looking pretty good. 513 to 289 on the scoreboard. We've only lost to one Kremlin, and you saw him complaining there in the chat. And we're about to roll up this side. Now we've got both the Alpha and the Delta caps secure. Oh, that was so close. And I guess we have our Montana there covering the middle, whether we need him there or not. And I'm just, trying to take a big picture view and keep the torpedoes working, hoping to land some. Montana accelerates. He'll probably get out from in front of my torpedoes, and they'll miss, but I want to cover the lane in case he turned back this way. And our Shikishima, he's got long range and shells that hit like a Mack truck, so somebody's going to drag him down. Our Holland is firing on him. He's got his guns faced the wrong way. I'm going to go ahead and put some shells near. That was a terrible shot. And he's probably going to spin him around and aim him at me, but we'll see. Maybe he'll target the Venezia. So close. And Holland gets the last shot and finishes him off. So, I haven't really been lighting up the scoreboard or anything. 29 shells on target, landed a few torpedoes, 43,000 damage, but I did manage to secure the Delta cap. And at this point, I realize, I probably need to push here. I want to make sure we can create some crossfire opportunities for our Shikishima. Our Montana, he's pushing into the gap there. Questionable, but it is what it is. So I'm really hoping to see the Shikishima move north, and he is. He's staying as far away as he can, which I guess I can't blame him. There isn't that much out here that's going to be shooting at him. So I was hoping he'd move a little closer, but he doesn't really have to. It's a very accurate ship with shells that hit really, really hard. So I certainly can't blame him for wanting to keep his distance and just do that damage from range. Our Holland, I think, is about to get blapped. He pushed up and went around the island there. You can see he's turned away, but if he gets detected here, it's all over for him. You can see he's turning back. I might land a torpedo. I put him out there because Montana was reversing. And I think once he sees the torpedoes, he's going to start moving forward. So I'm going to put some torpedoes out in the position that I think might catch him. If that happens, we'll see. If he accelerates forward fast enough, he might be able to avoid them all. So I do land 2 there. I debated about smoking up here and trying to put him up, get him burning, but decided I'd just bide my time here and see what happens. We're looking pretty good. We're down a Kurfürst and a Kremlin. Bad guys are down Montana, Thunder, Worcester, and Holland. So we definitely have an advantage. It looks like I might catch him with 1 here. I think he's probably going to just try and ram our Montana. Yeah, I do catch him. No flood. And, well, you heard my earlier comments about our Montana. To me, his positioning was questionable beginning to end, and he's put himself in a position now where an almost dead Montana is going to be able to finish him off. Venezia's done a pretty good job. We lose Bourgogne and Zao. Venezia's done a good job of avoiding big shells and torpedo strikes. Take a look here. So there's the ram that I was expecting. Maybe I'll just put him out there. Keep 1 set for the time being, and start heading into the cap. Got a Hindi there I got to be careful of. Hindi's got 6-kilometer hydro. Throwing torps at the Hindi, even broadside, is unlikely to net any results, especially when he's got islands to hide behind. You can see some friendly torps there. Our Shikishima has moved up, which you see me pinging, and I'm just I'm asking him if he can move even closer to help me. I'm trying to get in the habit of using pings rather than typing a whole lot of things out. Typing a whole lot of things out has netted me in the last 3 months 3 chat bans of a few days. So rather than do that, I'm going to just try and use pings. Not 100%, but more than I have been. Our Venezia put shots out on the enemy Venezia, but our Venezia, looking at his shots, he's struggled to land them. Holland is pushing up here to help me with the cap. You can see his torps racing out there. Really long range on the Holland torps. Not quite as long as the upgraded gearing torps, but much faster. You'll see that I've got my AA turned off. I don't want the Hindi's aircraft to inadvertently get my AA to fire and then make me visible. So, where to go? It looks to me, at least at this point, that the bad guys are going to stay up in this corner. Our Holland, I think, might be racing south to help the Shima. The enemy Kleber, last known position, you can see him out there at Foxtrot 2, and who knows where he's at now. I mean, that thing is blisteringly fast. But if he pushes towards the Shima, he's going to run into a Des Moines. We've got a Venezia and a Shikishima out here. But while I've been talking, we've seen the scoreboard get a little bit closer, and now with the loss of the Holland, as he got himself detected, probably by the gearing. We're 175 or thereabouts points ahead, and they actually have a ship advantage. Now we're doing really well in terms of caps, but here we see the wisdom of the Shikishima not getting too close and not going nose into this position, because now there are a number of ships here that are able to put shots on him, and I have to be careful myself. I don't want Venezia to be able to blap me at close range, and he certainly could. So I'll put some torpedoes out, hoping to catch him, as it looks to me like he's going to push toward the cap.
Our victory is in sight.
So I'm going to put some torpedoes out there ahead of his likely approach to the cap in hope of smacking him at least once. And I need to fall back because he's a fairly quick ship. Gearing is not exactly what you'd call a speedboat, and I do not want to get detected. And if the enemy gearing is pushing this way and I sit here too long, he's liable to detect me. Okay, I do catch him with one torpedo. I needed to drop the torpedoes a little farther south. He accelerated pretty quickly. But I did catch him with one, which reset the cap. If we lose the cap here, not the end of the world. You can see our Shima's positioned to be able to spot the Kleber if he pushes that way. But I think Kleber's probably up here. And that's why I'm just running away. You can hear those Shikishima guns. And I'm going to see if I can't finish off the Netsia. Yeah, I'm detected, but... Okay, so that's that. And there's the Kleber. So I know where he's at now. And holy cow, can that thing put out some shells. Republic smacks me. Kleber is... I know he's here, and I know he's probably just going to come chase me down, so I'm going to run. I put the wide spread there, essentially just to, if the Hindi were to come straight that way, I wanted him to have to turn to lose some speed. I want him to bleed some speed, and if Kleber comes around that island again, I want him to turn to lose some speed. I'm trying to buy as much time as I can. And all I was pinging there, I'm hoping the Shikishima will kind of angle to move south to be able to get behind the island, but with the amount of fire he's taking, probably not going to matter. I don't know that he's going to be able to survive it one way or the other. And he may be making the same calculation and just deciding I'm going to just keep on my current track. That second set of torps left me a very narrow channel here. How's that for close? And they do manage to drag down our Shikishima. So they actually have a ship advantage right now. We have a roughly 160 point advantage. I do manage to land a torpedo on the Republic way back there. And now, really, for me, it's all about staying alive. I'm using the indicator that is telling me where the nearest ship is. Even if I don't hit the Kleber, if I can manage to get him to turn, my guess there was that he might turn toward my smoke and head south, trying to cut me off. I'm radio located. You can see that thing that says located. I'm guessing it's him, and I'm guessing that he's seeing where I'm going, and that's why I put the torpedoes there in hope that he would follow the direction of his own radio location indicator. Whether it works out or not remains to be seen, but that was the logic behind why I put the torps there. And now I just have to try and stay alive. Thanks a lot for watching.